Hello from MWC 2024. I'm here together with Lacina Kone, CEO of Smart Africa. Hello again.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Nice to meet you again, Lacina. Lacina, I recently watched a very interesting conversation where you mentioned Africa needs a digital platform. I found it a quite valid point. I mean, when we wake up in the morning, as you said, the first app we use is WhatsApp, so which is not the African platform, obviously. Can you tell us a bit more about your vision? You're in several conversations with the public sector, private sector. What is your vision on that?
When I say that Africa is the only continent that actually do not possess a platform, digital platform, I need to explain that a bit more. When you actually go and sign up for any of those social media platforms, Meta, they do the KYC, take your photo, blah, 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 two-way authentications.
Digital footprint, David.
Digital footprints everywhere. You go to Airbnb, it's a platform. You go to Amazon, they all do their KYC. Where is the African KYC? That is the beginning, it's the foundation of a platform. Once we have a platform in place, and the platform structure is backed by digital ID, the digital ID, which is the really KYC. Who are you? Because once we have that, then all the platforms, the African platform applications in the context of Africa can roll on it. Even the private sector, when the private sector goes to Africa, they establish themselves. They launch a service. How do they identify the populations? Using a Gmail or using Yahoo? That is the question.
Yeah.
Or using their ID. Their ID, how do we authenticate it? So these are the prerequisites of a platform. But as long as we don't have a platform, I'm afraid to say that we are always going to be digitally colonized. Not just Africa, it's the whole world. So that's the reason I said we do not have a platform. We should be calling for development of a platform which is based on a digital ID.
But it also needs that all these countries come together. If you compare it with the US, so we have almost a continent which is one country. Africa is not a country, it's a continent with several interests. So we can't just give one data to another country. So based on your work in Smart Africa, how are the conversations with the governments, with the public and private sector about how can we bring that together?
You just talked about United States. United States. States are united. They were not like that before. There were several states. They came together based on some policy, some regulation, some harmonization. That's what we're calling for. And look at our vision, transform Africa into a single digital market. Yes, we might be different politically, but digitally we can be integrated. And the technology is not the limit. The political will is very important if we do have a political will. So what we've been mandated 10 years ago is to work on the vision. The vision was given to transform Africa into a single digital market. And the means to do that is to call for a continental KYC. When I say continental KYC, and I make it very clear, interoperable digital IDs. We are several countries, different political means and all that, but we must be able to interoperate to authenticate the other. When you leave from one country to the other country and you want a service, the service provider in that destination country need to know is your ID is authenticated in the other country. That's what we mean.
So you said the political will is there, you see it.
Absolutely.
So on one side we have the political will, we probably also have the technology,
Yes.
but I think what we're still missing a bit is the skills.
Execution and skills. You see, I always said, there's always a statistic by 2050, 40% of the world workforce will be in Africans. We're talking about the educated Africans. That's where the skills, reskills, upskills comes into play. We will never reach that point if we don't go and reskill ourselves on the emerging technology. Because most of the stuff happening today, you will tell me, people don't usually learn at the university.
Yeah.
And in fact, the big tech company today, they do not hire our young kids based on the degree or whatever. It's the skills.
Yeah.
And that's why we embark on SADA, Smart Africa Digital Academy, which has 5 layers. 1, training for decision makers, policy makers. 2, advanced skills, which are the government workers, skill, reskill, upskill. 3, tech and youth entrepreneurship coding. 4, STEM, which is science, technology, education, art and mathematics. It's a new way of apprentissage. And finally, we have a general public.
All right. So would you say that that is one of the main priorities, to really upskill the people before we take into consideration all the other steps we have to do?
I say it always, in order to transform, you have to be informed. So we have close to 37 initiatives in the pipeline of Smart Africa. Every single initiative has a module for training at SADA. Artificial intelligence, blockchains, connectivity in general, augmented reality, digital economy, DPI, DPGs, just name it. It always has to go with the capacity building.
All right. Do you think, when we talk about AI, I mean, they call it the AI revolution. I mean, from an economic perspective, we see what was potential is there for the continent. Do you also think that could help as well to upskill? I mean, we see it in low-code performance, for example, when we talk about software development. What is your take on that?
If I want to be a devil advocate, let's take artificial intelligence. Is it a revolution or an evolution? Questions. When you look at it, if you think it's a revolution, it's going to revolutionize everything. But ask yourself a fundamental question. Is the digital transformation a necessity? It's a must? Yes. Does everything need to be AI-able? Does everything need to be moved to artificial intelligence? The answer is no. It means the artificial intelligence will address certain segment of vertical with the use cases, but not everything has to be artificial intelligence. By saying that, I am not really undermining the importance of AI. It's extremely very important because it brings a lot of efficiency in the administration. We need to look at the big picture as a digital transformation, vertical transform digitally, but part of those vertical, we can gain efficiency by adopting AI use cases in those. And that's what is happening today. You will see AI in health tech, you will see AI in education, you will see in agriculture, you will see it even on a day-to-day work. Anything which is heavy in terms of manpower, of course it will automate it. But you have to look at the AI as a co-pilot, but that co-pilot has over 50 bachelor degree in your pocket. Just think about it.
Yeah, that's true. Valid point. One last quick question. Yesterday, you joined a meeting with Africa's mobile sector to talk about the transition for more greener energy in the continent. So what was your takeaway from that session?
My takeaway from that, we all need to be moving into a twin transition, which is digital and the green. In the green ecosystem, maybe you know it already, the digital economy, actually, the contribution is much higher than even the airline industry. However, in carbon emission. However, digital transformation is the tool or the mean to reduce the carbon emission faster than any other sector. By just looking at the subcomponent, you're looking at the towers, looking at the core operations, you look at the software. The towers, we can say it's a natural resource, renewable energy. It is happening already in many parts of the world, and Africa has a lot of sun. You know that. So it's quite possible. In the core, when we talk about twin transition, we're talking how much bandwidth, how higher the bandwidth we can get with just low energy. All the equipment manufactured in the core network, the equipment is becoming smaller, it consumes less power, it gives higher throughput. So we do have efficiency in that. Now comes to the operation of day-to-day. Even the software coding. There are certain coding which takes a lot of energy from servers. Yeah. There are some software coding does not take a lot of energy in terms of coding. So along all of this line, we do have a module in a capacity building for every single steps of the way. It was quite very interesting. I think we are on the right path for a green network, if I can say.
Thank you very much for your time, your insights.
Thank you very much, yes.
There was Tech Africa News from MWC 2024. You can find more on techafricanews.com.